What's up, everybody? Today is new guitar day. We're checking out the Yamaha Revstar. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed that intro music. All of that was played on the Yamaha Revstar. I bought this because I noticed that people who are better at me than guitar are playing them. And I decided to take a chance on it. I had never played one of them before, and I couldn't find anyone in Utah where I live that carried them, or even anyone that had one that I could like rent it for a day, or just a buddy. I couldn't find anyone that had them. And so I decided to just take the risk and buy one. And what a reward it was. I knew it was going to be a good guitar. I didn't know it was going to be this good. It's by far one of the most comfortable instruments that I've ever played, and it feels effortless to play. But we'll go over that a little bit later after the demos. I'm going to go over some specs for this, and then we'll go into the segment where we demo all the different pickup positions and the coil tapping, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So first things first, I got the Yamaha Revstar Standard. They have the Professional, the Standard, and then the Element. The Professional is their top of the line. They sit somewhere around $2,000. And then the Standard is kind of their middle line, which is about $850. And then the Element line is their lowest line. It's about $550. And I watched a ton of YouTube videos about it before I bought it, and especially the ones that compared the Standard with the Professional said it's really not that far off and is probably not worth it to go for the more expensive option when the Standard is just about there. I got mine in the Hot Merlot color. It looked a little bit more red on Sweetwater's website. It's definitely got a little bit more purple to it than I expected, but I actually really like the color as well. So I got the version with two P90s, also known as the RSS02T. And just to go over it real quick, we've got two P90s, and we've got a volume control, tone control, and then a 5-way selector, as well as a push-pull pot. The 5-way selector, your first position is going to be the neck, your third position is going to be the two of them combined, and then your fifth position is going to be just the bridge. Positions 2 and 4 are kind of like an attempt at those weird, quacky, phasey positions that you get on a Strat, but without the middle position, they're a little different. And then the push-pull pot, they describe it as essentially taking your pickups and making them like an overwound pickup, so they're really mid-heavy and they're a little louder than they would be normally. Lastly, before we get into the demo phase, I bought one of these because I saw that Chris Buck and Matteo Mancuso both had one, and I loved their playing, and their playing is the kind of stuff that I wish I could do. And that is why I bought one, and honestly, add my name to the list of favorites. I mean, I've only had it for about 4 days now, but I've easily put about 15 hours into it, and it is so comfortable, and I'm really excited to keep dialing in the tones and kind of figure it out a little bit more. But anyway, let's take a listen to all of the different positions. All right, so here are my final thoughts on it. First things first, Positions 2 and 4, in my opinion, don't sound different enough to really make them worth it. Maybe there's something that I don't know about them, but they don't quite do the Strat thing very well, so I doubt I'll really be using them very much. I think I'll probably just stick to positions 1, 3, and 5. Maybe eventually I might even switch that out for just a 3-way switch so that I don't have to worry about missing it in the middle of a show. As well as the push-pull pot, I mean, I could kind of take or leave. I guess it's cool to have that extra warmth if you needed it, and you could use it in specific effects, and it could be really nice. But really, I don't know that I anticipate using that all that much. That being said, is it something that I'd want to get rid of? No, it's not in my way. It's not doing anything wrong. Now that we've got through those things, let's talk about it. First things first, one of the things that I love the most about it is that the neck is actually a satin or a matte finish, so it feels really smooth. It doesn't feel gummy at all like some of the modern polyurethane finished necks can feel, especially if you're playing like at an outdoor summer gig, which I just played a few weeks ago. And on my maple necked telly, it did feel a little gummy, so I really enjoyed that. On top of that, I actually love the tailpiece on it. I think because of my background with hollow bodies, I actually really like the feel that comes from these. And my favorite guitar, my 1959 Gibson, has a tailpiece that lets the strings go past it, and I've always loved the playability of that, and that's something also that drew me to the guitar. And again, I'm not disappointed. I said it at the beginning of the video, and I'll say it again. I knew it was going to be a good guitar. I didn't know it was going to be this good. I was trying to explain it to my wife, who is not a musician at all. And you know how you pick up some Gibsons and you could take or leave them, and then you pick up another Gibson and it feels like God touched it and said, this is now a good guitar, you know? And that's my Gibson ES-125T from 1959. I knew I wanted that guitar without even playing it. There was just something ethereal that was drawing me to it. And I've played other versions and other years of that guitar, and none of them feel quite like that guitar. And it's just, there's some guitars that have that mojo to them. There are also guitars that I've played that, you know, feel really, really comfortable, but are also very lifeless, for lack of a better term. I don't know how else to describe it, but sometimes it just feels like they're a production and nothing else. They're a tool, you use them. And sometimes that's what you need. But for me, I feel like I've really been lacking an electric guitar that really connected with me the way I've connected with my 59 Gibson, which I can't use in every context because it doesn't have any cutaways and there's only one pickup and it's hollow body, so it's hard to distort. So I needed something that could do a lot more than just that, even though it's really good at what it does. So I've been looking. I bought the ES-335. I have a Les Paul that I bought when I was in high school. I have a Telly that I love, but it always just kind of, I could never get the sounds out of it that I wanted because I like a little bit fuller, and it was hard to get those out of the single coils. And when I found this, I just kind of felt like it was the right move. And I'm really glad I made that move. It doesn't necessarily feel like some sort of ethereal mojo thing, but it feels like it wants to work with you. It feels like whatever you give it, it will give back. It's very responsive, and I haven't felt like anything that I've done on this has been out of control at any point unless it was my fault. And I think that's something that I've been really looking for, in addition to the fact that it's very comfortable to play. It sounds amazing. And because I'm still trying to figure it out, I think I will do a follow-up video in about a month or two to really see what all I can get out of this, try some distorted things. But ultimately, I am very happy with this purchase, and I recommend you find one and buy one immediately. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is by far one of the best guitars I've ever played. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I do feel like these are definitely being slept on. And if you have the means to get one, do it. But what do you think? How do you feel about guitars that are not the traditional Les Paul or Strat or Telly shapes? How do you feel about Yamaha guitars? How do you feel about playing guitars that aren't the typical brands that we stick to? Have you ever played one of these? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go make someone else's day better, And once again, my name is Mac Wright. We'll see you around.